All right, Carol. Please tell me I'm not the only person that has jet lag. Are you over it? Okay. It is so. Last night we were up till 1:30. Anyways, it was worth it. I will say that. Carol, would you tell us like your highlight of the trip, by the way?
Someone said to me, and it's totally true if you can read that, it says these jet lag pills. Someone fed me a bottle full of lies because this did not work.
Okay, so guys, next year, the Emerald Extravaganza and Diamond Destinations in Mexico. And what's so great about that is it's the exact same time zone as where I am. So when we got to Hawaii, the first day, it was like 6:30. I could not stay up anymore. I was like, I have to miss the welcome reception because I'm exhausted. Like I cannot do this. So I completely missed the welcome reception. We all went to sleep and then woke up at 3 a.m. And then we finally got used to it. And that means we turned around and came back home. But did you have a highlight you wanted to share, Carol? Like what was like your big?
I have to tell you, the one thing that drove me nuts is that we stayed up till 9 on our first day. We dragged it till 9. My husband and I went to bed at 9 and he slept till 9 the next morning. I hated him a little bit. Anyways, highlights. Seeing everybody in white at the luau was amazing. And seeing so many children, that blew me away. Like I've been with a company in the past that children were not allowed, like they were not allowed anywhere near anything. And the fact that we had so many children there and they were so welcomed and they had so much for the kids, like the whole front stage was all kids and it was amazing. They had to push them back for the fire dancers, but that was pretty amazing to see. That was something just to really make you love Plexus a little bit more.
That's how I felt for sure, because we keep saying we're a family company. And I remember this particular post, someone took a picture of all of these strollers outside of the convention doors where people had kind of like parked their strollers and went in. And I thought that was such a beautiful thing because how many of you guys, your why is your family? Now, whether you have little kids or not, that's not even the point. The point is we do this because we really do want an out of the box life for our families. And so that is a perfect picture of it. Lisa, what about you? I'm totally putting you on the spot. Like, what was your highlight moment? Was it the flip-flop?
Everything. This is my first time. So every stinking thing was amazing. Just from the moment we got there to the moment we left, I did not want to leave. I mean, we strung out that last day as long as we could before going to the airport, meeting all of the Plexus people, especially. I mean, you feel like you're in Hollywood or something because you've seen these people on posts and you're like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I read her testimony. Oh my gosh, I know that gal. Like you feel like you personally know everybody. And Stephanie Simmons and I hung out a lot during that time, and she just kept saying, introducing me to everybody because she knows everybody. She's been with the company for 8 years, so she knows everybody. And I was like, oh, it was so good. Everything was fabulous. And the gifts, they just keep showering you with gifts over and over. And just people were just so beautiful and nice. It was amazing.
It is amazing. The gifts, like y'all. So every year they give you one day of some surprise gift, and it's a really special gift. One year it was like a Tiffany gift card. One year it was Ray-Ban sunglasses, but this year it was the Olakai flip-flops or tennis shoes. And so you get to go up and pick from this like board of shoes. It is just the most fun, but I'm going to tell you my highlight. At the Diamond meeting, you walk in and they ask you to pick a number. So I picked a number and it said I was table 13. And I start walking over and guess who sat right next to me? Janelle from Sister Wives. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh. And anyways, and then I had to pretend like I didn't know who she was because I can't let her know that I watch and like think, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to be like, oh, really? Who are you? But I really did know. And I wanted to be like, how's Cody? And what's going on with Christine? But anyways, what we're going to do right now, did I miss anybody that it was their first trip to Hawaii? Don't forget, we have that Zoom tonight where we're going to hear from the first time earners, and they're each going to give you a challenge of something to do to help you work your way to next year's Emerald Extravaganza and Diamond Destination. But what we're going to do right now is my friend Rachel Harrison, you may have already seen this video, but we're still going to watch it. she has earned 2 watches. And what I think is really special about this is she just had a huge cross-country move. She moved from Washington State to Tennessee. And so you would think, at least I would imagine, if that was my level 1 and she just moved, I would think she would say this: I haven't met anyone yet. I don't really know anybody. It's just really hard. She earned 2 watches, which means she's either signed 6 people and helped 2 people go silver, or she's signed 12. But we're going to watch the video and see what her suggestions are and do some IPA based upon that video. So let me share my screen and then we will watch this together. It's on my team page if you're on there. So let me go ahead and.
Hello and happy Sunday night. My name is Rachel Harrison. And first of all, I'm just incredibly honored to be on your team page tonight and talking. And when Jen asked me, I have looked up to her for years. And so it's just a huge honor to be asked to be on your page. So thank you for that. But I just wanted to share just a couple things of what I've done this month. And actually previous months to get to where I am right now, and how I've been able to earn 2 Apple Watches, which is huge for me. So I am an Emerald ambassador, but I have not been making Emerald points in a while. I was able to go to Mexico last year, and I didn't get the honor of getting to Kona this year. In the past 3 months, my life has drastically changed. We have lived in Washington State for the past 17 years and moved to Tennessee. So we moved from a very wide open state where I was one of like 3 jewels to outside of Nashville where there are countless jewels. Okay. So I just want to say that to begin with, that I know that everybody's like, oh, everything's saturated, but I want to tell you it's not saturated. Okay. This month so far, on what is today, the 25th of the month, I have added 11 ambassadors and helped a friend go senior silver, and she will be gold by the end of this month. And with that being said, I have not helped somebody go silver in 2 years. So this is not a normal occurrence. I work really hard to add at least 3 every month, and I'm incredibly grateful that God has given me the gift of adding 11 so far this month. But let me tell you what I've done, okay? I have I've tried really hard over the past couple months to engage in people's posts and to post things that I think people will be interested in. So what I've done is I posted things about, I lived in the Pacific Northwest. I'm from the South, but I lived in the Pacific Northwest. And now we're in the Tennessee and we're seeing roadkill. And my kids don't know what to do with that. And like things like that. So I'm just trying to engage people. And I always respond to people's comments, whether I respond right there or I go back and respond in a message. So I think that is huge because I want people to see my feed. So in order for them to see my feed, I always respond to their comment, either right on my page or go into their messenger. Okay. So I think that's really, really important. I'm looking at my notes right here. So I really dug into Reset this month. I'm a fitness instructor by trade. Since we moved to Tennessee, I'm now a PE teacher. And with that being said, I'm working full time. I've never worked full time before, but my husband had a huge pay cut and I'm not making my Emerald points right now. And so my why has shifted, and it's not just, I want to go to Kona or I want to get, the lifestyle bonus or the super fun incentives. I am literally working every single day for my why and for my family. So I do think that is, that's huge too. So with that being said, as a fitness instructor and like just my background, I have never really gone into Plexus talking about the weight loss aspect of it. I've more like dug into the gut health aspect. And so when Reset came out, I started really looking into it. And I've had about 10 pounds that I need to take off since COVID. And I started the Reset in June. We moved in July. My life was crazy. And I lost a few pounds and then I did it again. And y'all, it has literally jump-started my metabolism. I know that when it came out, I was like, okay, I believe it for other people, but I don't believe it for me. And it's the truth. And so I've talked about that. I've talked about how skeptical I've been. I've tried to think about objections that other people would have. And I've really talked about that. I've gotten into my stories. I have thought about, this is one thing, I thought about all those people that were looking for weight loss, and I gave them the gut health, the gut health way, and they didn't lose weight as fast as they wanted to. I've gone back to them and said, hey, I know that you might not have lost as much weight as you wanted to with Plexus, or you didn't lose weight. Would you be willing to try this out again, but go the reset way? Because this is what it's done for me, and this is what it's done for my friends. Because if you don't have a reset, testimony, or if you haven't tried reset yourself, that's okay. You can tell them about somebody else's, because there are so many different testimonies that you can share with them, right? So I really want to encourage you, go back into your back office, look at all your level ones, look at the ones that quit forever ago that are still sitting there, and go back to them, because that's what I've done. Last month, I went to all of my level ones that order every single month. And I have a lot of them. I've been doing the business for 8 years, and I have a lot of them, even if they just order ProBio. And I said, hey, what do you think about just talking to some friends about, helping getting your products paid for? I can totally help you talk to some friends. I know you don't want to work the business, but I just want to give these opportunity. I had tons of them say no, had a couple say yes, and the majority of them ignored me. That's okay. It did not hurt my feelings, because they're still ordering their products every month. But I got into their messenger, or I texted them, or I voice messaged them. So they're still seeing my stuff all the time. Okay. So I've dug deep into the reset. All of my 11 that I've added this month have been reset, except 2 of them. Okay. I've talked to my level ones about adding somebody to help get their products paid for. And I posted engaging posts to try to make people see it. And I always comment back. Now, when I do have somebody, when I sign them up, I say, hey, I'm not going to lie to you. Reset is not easy. Like, it is amazing, and you feel on top of the world when you get done with it. But that 3 days is pretty hard. I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to coach you so much. I'm going to contact you a lot. But do you think you have a friend that you might want to do this with? And that is how I've gotten 2, 3, 4 extra people that I didn't know. So whenever, and they'll say, oh yeah, let me ask somebody. And I always say, hey, do you want to put them on, like, let's give them your referrals. Like, they're like, no, I don't really want to. I'm like, okay. Now I've had one person that said, yeah, we'll put them under me, but I'm not discouraging. I'm not going to be like, oh no, let's put them under you, because that could be a little bit awkward. So I bet every single time I've said, do you have somebody that you think you might want to do it with? And then we can celebrate together at the end of it, because y'all, the reset's been really hard for me. But the mental game that is, like, the mental part that is done for me is the best. And so I'm really open about that as to what it's been. And I'm like, day 2, it's horrible. Day 2 is not fun. But I'm telling you, when you get to day 3, we're going to celebrate it. We're going to have so much fun. And it's so fun to do it with friends. So always, always, always say, hey, do you have somebody to do it with? And y'all, I know that might be really awkward at first, because I'm the first to say, I was so scared to say that, but do it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And it's not awkward. It's just literally saying, I want you, I'm your friend, I'm your coach. I want you to succeed in this. And it's so much more fun and easier to do that when you have somebody to do it with. So, and have you ever had somebody ghost you? I don't know. I have hundreds of times. But y'all, follow up like a boss. I mean, seriously, you are a health coach. You're a health coach. Follow up. Be super, super confident in that. Say, hey, I know you acted interested in Plexus, or we had that conversation. I don't know if this is the right time for you, but we have this deal right now. It is this much off until the end of the month. Show that urgency. And I want to coach you to success, because you are a boss. You are a health coach, and you show them that. You show them that you want the very best for them, because you do. It's not just a watch. It's not just a sale. It is because you want your friends to feel their very best. You want strangers to feel their very best, and show that with your confidence. Okay. It just really goes a long way. Okay. So here's some of the questions. Sorry, I'm getting really long winded. I was only going to do like 5 minutes. How do you move a person from interested to committed to bad? For me, I show my confidence. If I have somebody interested in the active, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to love this. I'm going to send you some active. And then they get it and they're like, okay, I think I want to try this. I'm like, okay, I know you like the active. Could you imagine how you're going to like the other products? Like, they're pretty amazing too. What are your health goals? I always say, what are your health goals? And then I hear what the real things are. You know, they might want energy, but they really want X, Y, and Z. Okay. So I'm, like I said, I've done this for 8 years. And when we were honest, for like half of that, I let people waste my time. And I signed up people who were not committed. I have 4 children and I now have a full-time job. We live in the country, so everything is 30 minutes away from us, and I am crazy busy. So when I ask somebody for their commitment, I'm giving them my 100% of my commitment. I am their coach. I will coach them to success, but I'm asking them from their commitment. So I'm very confident in my ask. And I say, I want to coach you to success. This takes you drinking your water, doing what I'm asking you to do, and I promise you will get you to your health goals. So it's really just from interested to committed. It's just showing you, like, for you to say, I'm going to get you this. Or even if they keep saying no, or if they're ghosting you, saying, hey, when you're ready for me to coach you to success, I'm here with a link. I've said that many times. And then I just act like their friend and I just talk about normal stuff. And 9 times out of 10, they come back to me. So, okay. The second, what scripts have you been working for? I've kind of used a couple of scripts right now. I'm happy to write them out for you. But it's just telling them what you're going to do for them, telling them why they need it. And I mean, these are all things you've heard before. These are all things you've heard before, guys. My main focus right now on posting is reset. It really is, because I know the benefits of it. Excuse me, I know what it's done for me. And honestly, if I hear people talking about it, like people talking about what they're looking for, that's what I really go for. So if I have a friend talking about, oh my goodness, my migraines, well, I'm going to get in her feed a lot. And then I'm going to start posting about migraines. So I try to like pay attention to what my friends are talking about. And right now everybody's wanting to lose some weight because their kids are back in school. And the focus is now off of getting their kids in school and vacation, and it's now a little bit more on themselves. And how am I getting people to duplicate? So like I said, I'll make this really quick. I haven't duplicated in a really long time. And I've been really scared about asking people for the business. But when my why changed, my verbiage changed. So the girl that I signed up, who is now senior silver and going for gold this month, I had contacted her 7 years ago about the business, and she thought I was crazy. And then she went with Roden and Fields like a month later and did great with it. She hasn't been doing that in a long time. And I was like, hey, she was talking about how, like, I really want to go on a vacation with my family. I was like, I really think you need to try the business, Kimberly. Like, I know you, she had tried, like, dabbled in the products a little bit. And I was like, I think that you should do this. So I just boldly asked my friend, who I've asked multiple times, and she said yes. So I know that doesn't happen all the time. I know it doesn't happen all the time because I haven't had it happen in a really long time. But I do know that it's the bold ask, and it's the asking, do you have somebody to, especially with the reset, do you have somebody that wants to do this for 3 days with you? And so I just want to encourage you, be bold. And be confident that you are a health coach. Y'all, this has turned into 15 minutes and I'm so sorry, but thank you.
one of the things that's sticking out to me, and I want to show you really quick her Facebook feed so you can see her posting, is one of the topics that we do at the Jewel training for people when they first hit Emerald, and even when we do leadership training 2.0. So it's people that have already done that and they come back for like the higher level leadership training. We always have a section called Revisit Your Why. And this is just kind of jogging my memory that what an important thing to do with the people on your team. Like maybe you did ask them in the beginning, but could have been years now that they've been with you in this organization. Going back to them and say, hey, I haven't thought about this for myself in a while. So I thought maybe you would want to think about this with me. I'm trying to develop my why. What is your why right now? Or maybe go ahead and take some time and write out the things that are driving you and share that with your team individually. Say, hey, I sat down and I wrote this out. I wanted you to read it. And if you'd share your why with me too, I think that would be super encouraging. When we get people thinking about the reason, look what it did for Rachel. So she never felt comfortable asking people about the business. She was always like standoffish with different parts of her. Anything that she was doing for IPA, there was a level of hesitation. The minute the why got big enough, it made her way more confident and her boldness grew. And boldness is really where it's at. So I was looking through, let's see if I'm even on the right page here. Look what I've done here. What have I done to not get to her Facebook page? I don't know what I've done wrong. So let me just type in her name. I want you to see the way that she's posting and see if there's anything there that you can use. So first of all, she's talking about the fact that she's won these 2 watches. So she's sharing about the perks of the business. She's got a personal post, a little bit more personal. And then I saw a bunch of, okay. So this is a gal that's tagged Rachel talking about doing the reset with her. I kept going through and I noticed she said she's really focusing heavily on the reset. And every time I look at it, she's got a testimony about the reset. She's talking more about partnering with her, and this gal keeps tagging her in it. So that's a tip for you too, is your people that are doing the reset with you, tagging you in it. This is that picture of her talking about finishing her second reset, what it's done for her. So anytime that you see somebody is having success, go and study their Facebook page, study their stories. If it's working for them, it's probably going to work for you. Of course, you're going to add your own flavor to it because some things that they do are not going to fit your personality or who you are. So that's just a little tip for you. So here's what I think we should do right now. Number 1, I want you guys to start thinking about your why. If you haven't thought about that in a while, and I know Sarah's on here, but she may not be able to talk because I didn't talk to her about this, first of all, but okay. You're like probably, I would say like the top speaker on the why. So if you want to share anything about that and helping people kind of dig into that. And then after we work through the why, I think that it's important that we go back to what Rachel was sharing about people that maybe didn't have the results that they were looking for with weight loss. And you going back and she said, would you be willing, this is how she started her script, people that wanted weight loss, she started them on the gut health products. And she said, would you be willing to go and try what we have now that's for weight loss? Here's what it's done for me. And get people rethinking about the resets, sending them the video links, sending them testimonies that we've seen of people having great results with it. So those are the 2 things we should kind of focus on. But Sarah, do you want to share about the why?
So it's interesting that you asked me about that because I actually had somebody asked me this week in Hawaii, after 12 years, how is it that you're still waking up and getting excited? And I think it's one of the reasons truly is because my why keeps evolving. So what got me in the door and started 12 years ago is not the same thing that keeps me motivated today. So really addressing what is that burning passion in your heart, or like Rachel was saying, she had to kick into a different gear when her why kind of became, well, now I got to get to work because my husband's, job just decreased. So it can be a combination of circumstances and your goal, but your goal is not going to motivate you. It has to get pulled back to those layers of what is that deep-seated vision that I have for sitting my butt in this chair and showing up and doing the work. Now, I will just tell you, for me, initially, I just needed to get my products paid for so my husband wouldn't be mad at me. And that was as simple and basic as my why was. Like, I was like, okay, I got to figure this out just a little bit so I can at least keep ordering these products. You know, and it evolved and progressed probably every 6 to 8 months as the door started opening a little bit wider and a little bit wider, and I started dreaming bigger and setting bigger goals. It was a different motivation and passion. And now, right now, my deeply seated passion for why I show up daily, one, is to help my new customers and new prospects and new VIPs to experience health and happiness like I have been able to. And then two is to help all of my team members have the tools and resources so that they can then achieve their goals. So, you know, in typical yellow type 2 fashion, my why that drives me is I want to be the best I can be so I can help as many people as possible around me. But here's one thing I want you guys to remember. If you've got this huge vision and passion and big goals and want to be in Mexico and all of these things, you can't assume that that's what everybody else wants. And I want you to remember that asking questions and asking people, what are their health goals? What are their financial goals? What do they want? Because if I were to be like, girl, you need to do this with me. I want you to be on the beaches of Hawaii with me. We're going to go, like go grab 20 people. And they literally can't get out of bed because they need health solutions right now, there's going to be a friction there. And so I've learned the hard way over 12 years that every person has to get in touch with their own internal motivator and passion and why for what would help motivate them to get out and share. And we can't assume that what we want is what everybody else would want. Does that make sense? Is that helpful?
It is helpful. And I liked how Rachel said, whenever she saw people posting about a need, I'm thinking about how you said, dig deep with people. Well, sometimes people will bare their souls in a post on Facebook. You know, I wish I could go on vacation with my family, or I keep having migraines. Those are really great open door conversations. I couldn't help but see your post when you talked about having migraines, or I couldn't help but see that you talked about wanting to go on vacation with your family. Really think you should consider looking at the business. Do you want to set up a call? And I'll explain to you what that means in like 5 minutes or less. Getting into conversation with people to answer the need that they've already put out there. That's part of a why, not the whole why. Does anyone on here want to share what their why is currently? Like, you've already been thinking about this. You feel pretty solid in it. It's what's already driving you. Your feet hit the floor and you're like, I could do this.
I'll share.
Share.
Okay. So, hang on, I'm sorry. So my husband was military and he retired after 33 years and took another job. Even though we're debt free, we still are budgeting like we're not. And which is really frustrating to me because I see him putting in so much work that I just feel like he needs a break. And he really is he's really great at doing what he needs to do. But I see him being a little tired. And so my why is I want to be able to help him to actually retire and not have to work until he's 70 years old. And I want to be able to provide things for our family that that I would like to see us do. I won't go to all that, but also on a side note, I want to be able to help missionaries as well and give to our church. But my main goal is to get my family to where we don't have to live so tight. I want to be able to buy organic produce and not have to budget that in. I want to be able to help with gas because that's ridiculous right now, and not have to budget so tight for everything. And so my why is that that's my main why, and helping others.
See, and when you take the time, like what Brenda's done is she's taken the time to think through, what is it really? Because yes, would anybody here like decline an invitation on a amazing like 5-star resort vacation? No, like that. If I said, hey, Plexus wants to send you on this trip, you'd be like, yeah, It's not always going to be the actual why that someone has. So go ahead and spend some time thinking about it, peeling that back. I would schedule in time for your IPA this week of getting into conversation with anyone that's ordered the products with you. It may be you start with a conversation about, hey, I wanted to revisit your health goals with you. Where are we at with that? How are you feeling? Maybe it's time for you to go back like Rachel did and ask for the commitment. Say, are you interested in feeling better, or are you committed to feeling better? I just want to know where you are. I want to be there. I want to help coach you through that. And then maybe get in conversation with some of the people that have hit silver, maybe haven't gone any further. And then also what she did with people ordering the reset, she said, do you have anyone that would want to do this with you? I'm going to be closely walking through this with you, but it's going to help, which we all know day 2, you start crawling out of your skin, or unless maybe that's just me. Like I was having dreams of all sorts of delicious food and I was like, oh, this is so hard, but it's worth it. By the end of day 3, you feel amazing. So I'm going to work on my why. I'm going to work on going back to people that wanted weight loss and didn't get it, and just spend this 30 minutes with both of those.
I think one good reminder to y'all is to remember that there might be a surface statement that feels like your why, but you have to get down to, Alita says, 7 layers, 7 levels of asking, well, what does that look like? And I'll give you guys a quick, just off the top of my head, example, because this is what I'm walking through this week. So it's homecoming week. And so if I would have told you my why was financial freedom. Well, that's too vague. Okay. That's not specific enough. And just like Brenda shared what that looked like for her family, we wanted to be debt free and be able to build this dream house. So to give our kids, memories in childhood that they remember, like we had all of this vision and dream for what we wanted to do. So what does financial freedom look like? For me this week, I get to host 35 juniors and seniors at my house for a homecoming dinner on our back patio. When you visualize like the sun setting over the back patio, which was on my dream board, but giving my kids the opportunity to have a safe place where they can invite all of their friends and they want to be at my house. For me right now in this season as a mom, financial freedom equals ordering the lights, ordering the catering, getting the round tables, knowing that homecoming week is me gifting my kiddo the opportunity to have a safe place to invite his friends and build memories that will last a lifetime. So for me, that's the tug on my heartstring for, I've got a list of all of these people, y'all, just from me making stories this week that I am following up with right now, that drives me and motivates me. My why is to be able to live financially free, to be able to provide, whatever that looks like in that season that you're in. So ask, what is financial freedom? What does that mean? What amount of money equals financial freedom? If I equaled that, what does that do? Why is that important to me? And keep asking yourself those layers so you can get down to that core belief, that core value of what it is that's truly going to drive you. Because just saying I want to be financially free, that's not a motivating why until you unpeel all of those layers and get to the root of, my husband was raised poor and, they had to pick their bills, that, like all of those things for him, our why works together, and giving what we are to our families now all stems back from his childhood in going through that. So that's a driving force for us together to be financially responsible and stewards of what the Lord has blessed us with in this business.
Can I share something that goes along with what Sarah just said? I struggle, and maybe you do as well, with really peeling back those layers and really going deep on a why. So if you haven't discovered it, this has been a tool that's helped me. It is an app that is called 7 Layers Deep. It's the number 7 layers deep. And let's see, it's the 7, the red 7 in the white square. And when you click in there, it says discover what drives you to take actions, and you want to make sure you have 5 to 10 minutes to reflect and answer 7 questions. And then you start. And so the first question is, what do you want to do? And so you're going to answer that. And then you're going to keep going. And it's just going to prompt you to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper each time. And so that's just been a really helpful tool for me, and maybe you will find it helpful as well.
Hey, can I share something real quick about the why? So one of the things that for me, like kind of like how Sarah said, how it kind of evolved is when I started, I too just wanted to get my products paid for so I didn't get in trouble from my husband. And then just kind of as things went on, of course, like you want to be out of debt, you want to do all these things. One of the things that someone had told me about was trying to think of things that you're passionate about, because I was wanting to be something like a bigger thing besides just me, besides getting out of debt, besides getting my products paid for, besides, possibly going on family vacations, like besides all those things, like kind of just asking and praying, God, saying, God, who do you want me to bless because of this business? And a couple of things that I kind of always had a heart for. I'm a physical therapist. And so, just knowing what caregivers go through and how hard it is, that has always been huge for me. And then also, I guess recently I've realized, wait, moms are caregivers too, not just caregivers. And so I always just thought it would be so amazing if I could be able to bless caregivers or moms, together with just some kind of a retreat, just to get away and to like kind of recharge their batteries and to be able to pay, give them a kind of like a retreat, a couple-day retreat, all inclusive, like to relax and have all the food covered, everything covered. And it's so kind of crazy now that I've just been thinking about that more. I feel like I've been having more and more ambassadors, more and more friends, more and more people that I am getting in contact with who fall into that category of caregivers or moms that really, really need a break. And it's kind of fun. My husband, we've been looking for different, opportunities for a lake house for a long time. And one just kind of came up and I'm like, there's no way we're not going to qualify for that to get a lake house. But because, good old Airbnb now, the bank actually said we qualified. And so we are in the process of closing on a lake house right now. And not because we can afford it, but that's talk about my why. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get my Plexus business going just in case we don't have this thing rented out. But I'm so excited because now I'm like, that is something that I can use to be able to gift people. And it's, it sleeps like 14. And my mind is spinning about, oh my gosh, I can have retreats for moms. I can have retreats for caregivers. And just the kind of coolness of all of how all that has kind of come together. So I decided to throw that out there because I know in the beginning I was like, I don't know my why. It's, to get out of debt, it's to whatever, but just like thinking bigger, like who do you have a really big heart for? And that would drive you, like, how cool is that for caregivers and people to be able to have that? So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. It might help you uncover your why more. And just know that as you kind of walking through the doors that God is opening, he'll provide more opportunities and he'll show you kind of what he wants you to do with it.
Jennifer, can I say something?
Sure.
I have had 2 people in the last 3 days that I had on my list that I haven't reached out to in my downline. One of them's a level 1 who was eligible to sign up again. I hadn't reached out to her and she ordered. I have a level 3 that did the same thing. So that's 2 people that not only, of course, would have helped me with the watch, but they were eligible to get a new welcome pack and join again for just $1 if I had just reached out to them. So you never know who is thinking about this. Neither one of them ordered the reset. They, ordered products that they'd taken before. But, I'm just going, how many more are on that list that I just need to reach out to?
Kayla, I just keep it short and simple. And I say, hey, I know you had, goals years ago and you decided to stop ordering for whatever reason. Have you seen all the new and exciting things we have going on? Have you seen about Plexus? I'd love to share with you. Maybe timing has changed, or I don't have like a set thing, but just revisiting that conversation and what their goals were, and maybe they weren't being met at the time, and maybe the reset is something that they might be looking for.
Okay, so we're wrapping up, and tonight we've got the Zoom with the first time earners. And I didn't even ask you, Carol and Lisa, if you want to share, that would be awesome. I have 4 people or 5 people sharing right now, but if you do, message me and I'll tell you what we're doing. It's at 8 o'clock and the passwords together. It's the same code, just the passwords together. And then for anybody that's in Florida, I know Leslie is, we'll just be praying for you guys if the hurricane comes through or not. I don't know what it's looking like. I've got a friend that just went down to 30A today. I'm like, have you been watching the news? Like, anyways, but we'll be praying for you guys, and then we'll see you tonight. And then Thursday is our next power hour at 10. October 17th through the 19th is going to be the CEO habits with the same format that we had the first time, not what we just did this last week. And if I have any other news for you, I'll put it in the chat. You guys have a good rest of your day.